had to rock climb a little bit for this part, but it's honestly so worth it. Hi there. If you're new here, my name is Rimsky. I'm a Chinese-Filipino artist from Los Angeles. Today's vlog is basically just going to be of this composition of this ice cream with a cherry on top and then croffles on a nice plate. And yeah, you can follow along with me. I'm gonna be using some linseed oil to just keep the drying to a minimum. It slows the drying time, so it helps me out a lot because I do have some pretty small brushes. Well, I prefer to work with brush sizes from like 4 to 6, and then I just use Gamsol mineral spirit to as my paint thinner. Now, I actually tried to keep the time lapsing to a minimum because I realized that in my past couple of videos, it was actually quite repetitive, should I say? And I feel like it just wasn't, I don't know, like there was like magic missing there. But so I tried to keep it at the real time, and I was like my ADHD, my ADD was like acting up. I was like, oh my god, it's so slow. It's like I'm painting the canvas all over again just watching it. So yeah, I mean, there are some snippets where I think it's more satisfying to watch slowly, and then I'll mention it when it comes up. But these are this is just the underpainting, so I'm just trying to get a glimpse of like the shape. And honestly, the underpainting is probably the most personal part of the painting for me, just because I see it from the bare bones, and then I get to really analyze the proportions of everything. And sometimes I like it when there's not too much information, but you could still tell what's being told through the canvas. Do you know what I mean? Now, I actually wanted to talk about painting this section of the piece because I was using burnt sienna to paint the shadows on the croffles, and I realized that the color was very transparent, and because it was the underpainting, I had to build several layers, and it's pretty hard to okay, I should have used actually fast drying medium. I should have used a fast drying medium for the burnt sienna, for the shadows and values that had mostly burnt sienna on it, just because it would have been easier for me to layer the values on top of it. But because I instead used linseed oil, which is a slow drying medium, it ended up drying slow, and it took me a little longer to finish because it dried too slow. And it was fine if it was fast drying, because this, like that area, the shadows of the croffles, those like square indentations, like it would have been very flexible for me to just create the texture in there. So yeah, lesson learned. And then now this part is the cherry, which I was actually so excited about because I was using cadmium red on it, and it was just so nice to have a pop of color. And I'm such a newbie when it comes to illustration, but I am so infatuated with illustrations that have like pops of color. And I think being an oil painter, it's not easy to have that in my works, in my opinion. Although I wish I could shift it more, but I do like the more traditional look. But it ended up really shining through in this piece. So here's a little break from the painting. Jason and I took a hike. We went to Switzer Falls. It's near Pasadena. I think it's called Tujunga. And then yeah, it's really nice, as you can see. Also, downloading the All Trails app helps with navigating if you lose Wi-Fi. It can be quite rigorous if you have knee problems, if you're scared of heights, if you're not very good at balancing, because there's a lot of crossings, and you will probably eventually get your feet wet. So I highly recommend to wear waterproof shoes if you can. I honestly just use my Nikes because the current hiking shoes I have were very uncomfortable and they would blister my toes, so I'm gonna replace them. We finished the hike! Good job! Good job! So I think this hike is around 3 miles going from the parking lot to the falls. There's a lot of switchbacks and crossings. I didn't wear hiking shoes today because I'm gonna replace mine because it kind of hurts, but I do highly recommend wearing them. It's so pretty, like the water's so clear. Look how clear that is. Okay, zoom in. That's so good quality. There's kind of a lot of people today because it's a Saturday, but it's still worth it. That way if you get lost, you can just ask people, right?
I won't get lost.
There's a lot of dogs too. Lots of them. I will say, if you guys are gonna do this hike, buy the adventure daily pass or the annual pass. Daily pass is $5 and then $30 is for the year, they said. When we got here, a lot of people didn't have it on their dashboard, but it's a $100 ticket. Huh?
We got ours at Big 5.
Yeah, we got ours at Big 5. But yeah, better safe than sorry. $5 or $100, take your pick. There's someone who's showering over there. Let's try going up there.
It's really slippery, baby.
Oh, it feels so good right here. If we die, you guys will have footage of it. Wow, spiders! Oh my god. Wow, it's so pretty here. Seriously, guys. I highly recommend this hike. We had to go up. We had to rock climb a little bit for this part, but it's honestly so worth it. But it's very dangerous, so. Head back now, maybe after a little bit. Bye. Hi guys, editing Rimsky here. So this moment right here, right after I said, oh yeah, we're gonna get out of here now, we're gonna go out to the narrow pathway, rock climb, and then, you know, go to the parking lot. I put on my shoes before I crossed where the water was flowing, and there's a lot of algae there, and it's super slippery. And I crossed that earlier, but I took off my shoes and I was barefoot. And then Jason was like, oh, take off your shoes again so you don't get wet. Obviously there's no way you can cross. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to take it off again, you know. I took off my shoes, and then I was trying to cross by holding on to my shoes and my socks, and then my first foot in trying to cross on the rocks, my foot slips, so I use my shoe, I used my hand, but my hand was holding my shoe, and I stopped myself from going face down on the rock. But obviously, because my hands were on my shoes got wet. And then trying to get back up, I dropped one of my shoe, and the current wasn't like super strong, but it was strong enough to carry my shoe away. So one of my shoes was literally falling down the stream, down to the waterfall. It was like a movie, I swear. Like, I don't know if it was like Winnie the Pooh or something, where like someone like Eeyore or somebody loses something important and goes down the stream, and Pooh and all of them go and try and find where this thing is. And it was tough because that waterfall that it fell on, there's a main waterfall and then another waterfall, and then we were on top of that one. So the middle part, it's hard to get to because the rock climbing is a little bit more intense, and it's where that guy was showering, and I feel like he was able to do it easily because he was like super tall and lanky. Jason basically I had to wait, and then he had to like rock climb his way to the other falls and look for my shoe. And then I have footage of it. I'll put it right here. He was looking for it in a crevice, and while he was doing that, he found someone else's shoe. Oh my god! Whose shoe is that? Someone dropped it? Like, what are the odds that someone else's shoe was also stuck there? So it was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, like, then where's my shoe? And he was just like, hold on, let me look again. So then he went underneath the crevice of the rock, and then he was looking again, like, for my shoe, and then he was like, oh my gosh, I found it, but like, whose shoe is this? Because there's only one pair. So I was like, oh wow, so someone lost it and then just went back, probably because they couldn't get to that spot. So yeah, they were like, I'm not risking my life. But it would have been bad if I didn't have my shoe, because then how would I hike back? Like, Jason would have had to carry me or something, and it's 3 miles. But it was hilarious. But Jason was like, oh, we're never doing this again. But I kind of want to do it again. But yeah, Switzer Falls, amazing hike. But I do not recommend going up on the mini waterfall on top of it. Yeah, if you're afraid of heights, it's definitely not for people who are afraid of heights or who have really bad mobility. But once you get up there, actually, there was another couple that was there as well, and they went even deeper. Like, where we were, that was the top of the waterfalls, but they kept going because there was a trail. So they kept going, and I was like, huh, is there a trail from there to go all the way to the parking lot? And we were wondering, and then after a while, the couple actually came back. After Jason got my shoe, they came back, and I was like, oh, hey guys, like, is there a waterfall over there? Is there a trail like heading back? And then they were like, oh, actually, yeah, there's a even like bigger waterfall over there. Like, you should go see it, it's really beautiful. And I was just like, oh wow. And they were actually already in their like swimsuits, so I was like, I'm pretty sure they took a dive or something. So I was like, oh wow, okay. But obviously we're already so tired, we're just like, oh my god, we just want to get back. Like, I got my shoe back, but obviously I hiked 3 miles back and wet sock, wet shoe, everything, which was honestly not too bad. It was just like uncomfortable, but it helped that there were so many crossings, because it's like literally cross. Like, I wouldn't try to like keep dry. I would just cross the river, and then my feet would get wet again, but it was like refreshing because the water was cold, so my feet would be warm because I'm like hiking. I know it sounds kind of gross, but yeah, it was a really fun hike. I highly recommend it. This is getting too long, so back to the video. the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. What's one of your favorite hiking trails and where is it at? Let me know. I would love to know in the comment section. For now, bye bye until the next one.